Hey, hey y'all, welcome back to Tina Smooth TV. This video here is about my whole process with getting my GED. Like, this is about the whole process everything that I went through, and I just want to share it just in case that it's some people, which I know there are plenty of people out there that want to get their GED and that is probably struggling with one subject or another because it's for science, math, and social studies. So I know it's some science, math, social studies, and language arts. So I know it's somebody out there that's struggling with one of those subjects. So my journey started in 2019. First, let me shout out my cups. First, let me shout my cups out. I made this. I already showed y'all this one, but then I made this one. I kind of messed up with this one. You can look, you see the little bubbles. I kind of messed up with this one, but I've been showing y'all this one. And I got my first cup order. But these my two I made. I just want to show y'all that. Okay. Now that you can follow me on Instagram if you want to see how I make them at Smooth Collection 1. If you want to see how I make them, follow me on Instagram at Smooth Collection 1. Okay. So back to the GED. My GED journey started, I want to say the end of July, maybe, of 2019. So when I was looking it up on my phone, like for a GED program. And the reason why I went to get my GED was because the diploma that I had, it allowed me to go to school. I went to school for medical assistant. I actually worked at a doctor's office, but it was one of those online diplomas and it was accredited at the time. But then when I tried to go back for medical building and coding, it was not accredited anymore. So, and then I tried to go back to Barter College for criminal justice, and it didn't work anymore. So that's when I decided, I was like, okay, I gotta get my GED. Because at first I used to be like, I don't feel like getting my GED. I hear how everybody say how hard it is and how difficult it is. And I hear some people say they gave up because of the math. They just gave up. They stopped taking it because of the math part. So that kind of discouraged me and made me feel like I didn't want to do it. I wanted to take the easy route, easy way out. But don't think about the easy way out. Them diplomas last you about a month or two, and then you try to use it again. It's over, but you still got them student loans. Even though you had that bootleg diploma, you still end up with student loans. Like I got student loans, and I ain't even got no high school diploma, but I got student loans. Well, now I do, but at the time I did. Okay, so that's what made me go ahead and do the GED thing. So the first test that I decided to take was language arts. So before you take it, it's this thing called Aztec. Aztec got all four subjects on there, and it goes through it with you. It talks to you. It helps you. So with the language arts, okay, Aztec was easy. I wrote down all my notes. I studied, and when I took the practice test, I took the practice test within 2 weeks because they always make you take a practice test before you take the actual test. So I took the language arts practice test within like 2 weeks after studying and getting on Aztec. So language art is basically reading and comprehension. But the catch is with the language arts, one part of it you gotta write an essay. So that's the catch. One part of it you gotta write an essay. So even though I got a 154 on the practice test, when I went in and took it, I only got a 145. But you only need a 145 to pass. So hey, I passed. So I passed language arts with the 145. And so my next subject was science. And I was kind of skeptical about the science because, you got atoms and volumes. Science is kind of a little bit like math, but not to the extreme of math. It's still reading comprehension. So I went in there. I studied for like 2 or 3 weeks. So I went into the science part. So the science part I took, I think the first time I got like a 143. So I went back the very next day and took it. And then I got a 149 on the science. So I got a 149 on the science. I was done with the science. I had to take science twice. But the second time I was done, I passed. I was on to the next. So the last one I took, not last one, the third one I took was social studies. Now I'm going to school to be a lawyer. So I love to read. I love history. I love social studies. So social studies, I like to study. I actually like to reading about it. I like to study. I found out about the colonists. I found out about how the colonists literally stole everything, including America, but that's a whole nother video. But I found out a lot. So I scored like a 169 on the social studies. I think I studied social studies for like 3 weeks, and I scored like a 169, and that's college ready score. That's a college ready score that I scored on social studies. So I was done with social studies, and my last subject was math. Now my first three subjects I got done with within 3 months. In 2019, I was done with the first three. But within 3 months, first three was done. I had them passed them. I was done. I got to that math. Let me tell y'all something. Unless you're an expert in math, and most people good, real good at math, they have a problem with other subjects. Like it's somebody I know, like they pass the math, breeze through it, but language arts is hard for them, or science may be hard for them, or social studies may be hard for them. They don't like to read. They don't like to read the comprehension part, but they'll breeze through the math. So it different strokes for different folks. But for me, it has always been the math. And now that I actually study for a math, I know. Oh, when I first went in, being that I've been out of school so long, when I first went in, I knew nothing. I knew nothing besides 1 plus 1 is 2, and little certain problems. But 10 times 5 is 50, stuff like that. But a lot of stuff I didn't know, like slopes, y equal ms plus b, parallel lines, perpendicular lines, um, pi geometry. I didn't know nothing about pi, which is 3.14. I didn't know how to use the 3x10 calculator. You have to know how to use the calculator. I did not know how to use that calculator. I did not multiply and divide fractions. I didn't know how to do word problems. Like, I didn't know nothing when I first went in with my GED. Like, I was at a loss for some fact. I had been out of school so long. I dropped out of school in what? Towards the 10th grade. I finished ninth grade. Towards the 10th grade, I had then dropped out. And just I dropped out just because I was just bad. I just wanted to be bad. So I dropped out. I don't have no excuse. I wasn't pregnant. I didn't get pregnant with my son until I was like 19, and I had him when I was 20. So, well, I was 20 when I had him. So it wasn't because I was pregnant. It wasn't nothing crazy why I decided to just give up on school. I just didn't like school, and I just didn't want to go. That's my answer. I don't have an excuse for why I didn't finish. I just didn't want to go. So I got to the math, and when I got to the math, it was like the other three tests gave me this big confidence. Like, okay, I breezed through them, and it's like it almost made it feel like they wanted you to pass because it's like, ooh, they on the practice test, not the exact answers, but the format and the way the practice test is. That's how the real test is, but different questions and different paragraphs, but it's on that same format. But when I got to that math paper, I thought I was just gonna study a little bit and then go in there. No, went in there, failed first time. Went in there the second time, failed. Third time, failed. Fourth time, failed. Fifth time, failed. Sixth time, failed. Seventh time, failed. My eighth time, which was this year, December the 7th, 2021, I passed. Now the whole journey was so hard for me. It was so each time I failed, it was so discouraging. Like the first time it wasn't that bad, but like when I kept failing, and then like the seventh time that I failed, I got a 144. When I failed by 1 point, y'all, when I failed by 1 point, I was like, I can't do this. Like 1 point, they could just give me that 1 point. And God, like, nope, you want this, you're gonna have to work for it. You're gonna have to work for this. This is hard work. So it take 4 years to graduate from high school. It almost took me 3 years. Well, it did take me 3 years. I started like August of 2019. August of 2021 is gone. So it's been like 2 years and some change. It took me half of that to get my GED. Half of the time it takes you to graduate. I mean, it took you 4 years to graduate, and it took me 2 years to get my GED. So, and I was stuck on the math. I got to the math, and I just got stuck. And it was like I literally had to start from the bottom. I couldn't rush the math. Like if you're not good at math and you try to rush through because you want to pass, not good. That's not good because you're gonna fail. Unless you know some kind of magic tricks or something. If your brain was like mine when it comes to math and you try to rush through it, you're gonna fail. You gotta go through Aztec. You gotta study, you gotta buckle down, you gotta not procrastinate. You just gotta study every single day. And one thing about math, if you miss days of studying, you forget. You forget. And so once I got that 144 and I was about to give up, y'all. I was about to give up twice. The first time I was about to give up, I work at the post office, so I was driving, delivering the mail. And I was thinking in my head, I'm like, I'm done, man. I'm tired of doing this. I just work this post office job. Like, I'm just tired. Maybe God don't want this for me. And the girl that I go to school with, she called. She still got language arts to take. But she called and she was like, Tina, I passed the math. I got a 154. And this guy that I started with, he passed and he had done took it as many times as I have taken it. He started when I started in 2019. So when she told me she passed and he passed, I felt like, oh, it's my time now. Because he passed me, he'll start together. Oh, he passed. Oh, God and the universe is shining on him. I know he finna shine on me. So let me go and get in there. That was the first time I was going to give up. So, and then another lady that I started with, she took hers, she passed. And that's all she had to take was the math to pass. And she took it as many times as I did. And she started when I started. And the only thing she had left was the math. So she finally passed source too. So all through them passed, I was the last one to go in. So before I went in, I was relaxed. I was cool. I was like, no way, God. If I fail this time, I'm just gonna strictly focus on smooth collection. I'm just gonna strictly focus on my business. I'm just gonna let it go. Like it's not meant to be. God wants something else for me. I'm just gonna let it go. So I went in there, I took it. I was done. So my teacher was like, even after I took it, I felt like I wasn't sure if I passed because the one I got a 144 on. It was like an easy one. I don't know why I got a 144, but I must have missed something. I overlooked something, but I got a 144 on was really easy. But this one that I passed wasn't that easy. So I was kind of feeling a little down, not down, but a little like, oh well, guess I'm for the focus on school collection because I feel like I done failed again. So I was in there talking to my other teacher, Dr. Porter, and I was showing him my cups, and I was telling him, I was like, if I fail this time, that's it, Dr. Porter. I'm just gonna focus on my business. I'm just done. Like this is it. I can't keep taking this test and keep failing it. Like it does something to me. So as I was talking to him, my other teacher, Miss T, she was like, Tina. I was like, yeah. She was like, you passed. And then the teacher that I was there talking to, man was like, like we were so happy. Like I was so happy. He was so happy. All of us so happy. I hugged both of them. I told them when I get paid, I'm gonna get them some because I was just so happy that I finally passed. Like I didn't even believe it. I had her to pull it up for me so I could see it for myself. Like I was like so happy. Like I just could not believe that I had finally passed after 2 years. I finally did it. So I just want to encourage anybody out there that's uh, about to take their GED or already taking their GED and they're stuck on whichever subject, whether it's math, science, language, arts, or social study, whichever subject you're stuck on, whichever subject is hard for you and difficult for you. I just want to encourage you to hang in there and don't give up, even though you're gonna want to. Don't give up. And I remember telling God that I was willing to shed sweat, bloods, and tears for this, for my GED, and I have cried. I have cried. Like I have cried and boohooed and prayed and cried and boohooed. Like even through the whole corona situation, it was just so much. So many obstacles was in my way, but I did it. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. Like I went to shout out to Marydale Lane Adult Education School because that's the one I went to. Shout out to them. Let me get my GED. And I was able to take it at my school online versus going to a site. I was able to take it at my school. I was eligible to take it at my school. So I took it at my school on the laptop. And it all went well. Like everything went well. Like all I had to do is thank God because it was a long journey. Long journey. When you want your dreams, it's hard. When you going after your dreams, it's not easy. Like dreams are not easy to accomplish. I don't know who told us that lie or who believed that, but if it's something you really want and something to do with your purpose, it's not gonna come easy. You're gonna have to work triple, double hard to get it. I'm on YouTube.
Your hair looks nice.
Thank you. That was my son. So I just wanted to say I love you guys. Jesus loves you guys. Hang in there if you're trying to get your GED. If you're trying to pass any test, hang in there. This has been Tina Smooth TV. I'm out. Jeremiah!